Welcome to Beer N Bulldogs. This show is about responsible dog ownership, the history, and appreciation of the American Pit Bull Terrier. We do not promote or condone any illegal activities, including animal cruelty or dogfighting, which are not only unethical, but also violate the Animal Welfare Act of 1976. This is strictly for legal, ethical, historical, and entertainment purposes. Let's keep it positive and show these amazing dogs the respect they deserve. Cheers!
About to go down, so who's gonna be my dogs? Cause I'm about to break some laws. I ain't supposed to get in any trouble again. If I do, they gonna put me back in the pen. But you like to dodge my calls, so I'm about to break your jaw. I ain't scared of doing time, it ain't even on my mind at all. So who's gonna feed my dog?
Yo, it's Calypso from Beer N Bulldogs. If you're serious about your dogs, you need gear that's just as tough as they are. That's why I rock with Bulldog Strong. Built for strength, durability, and performance. Whether you're conditioning, training, or just taking a walk, their harnesses, collars, and leashes can handle the pressure. And when the work gets real, they got braking sticks to keep things under control. So don't settle for weak. Don't just be strong. Be Bulldog Strong. Yo, it's Calypso from Beer N Bulldogs. If you're serious about feeding your bulldogs right, working dogs, performance dogs, or just your everyday beast, I rock with Showtime 2720. It's been solid for mine. Now, you can't just order it online, but it's out there. Just hit that link in the description. Drop your zip code and find a dealer near you. And hey, if you pick up a bag or one of them dope-ass hats, let them know Beer N Bulldog sent you.
So people come to my house and they ask me, do that dog bite? And I go, not me. I say, not me.
Okay, now how's it going?
Hey, Dr. Sijo.
All right, what's happening, man?
Hey, what's up, Doc?
All right. Everything is good, man. What about your end?
Oh, man, everything's pretty good, too, man. So what you been up to, man?
Well, man, staying healthy, working with people on their health, taking care of a few puppies, and teaching a few private classes in self-defense. So, just doing what I do, man.
Oh, man, that's cool, man, that you're so involved in those type of things. I love all those things.
Yes, sir.
Well, Dr. Sijo, I have some questions for you.
Okay, so we're on the air?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, I was going to ask you, when did you get your first American Pit Bull Terrier, and how old were you?
Okay. I got my first pit when I was 18. I graduated 17, turned 18 February, and that summer I purchased my first pit bull because at that point I knew I wanted to be a breeder of a particular breed, either the Rottweiler or the Pit Bull. But I chose the Pit Bull because of being familiar with it, being raised around one that wasn't mine.
Oh. Was there any other reasons? I mean, they gravitated you to the pit bull?
Well, I mean, the look, the build, the tenacity, and the pit bull that I grew up with was a guard dog. It was used as a guard dog.
Yeah.
And man, listen, man. One time the insurance man, this what really kind of sold me. One time the insurance man walked into my grandmother's house without knocking and acknowledging himself, and he knew that they had a dog. And so at that point, Bullet, which was a pit bull, grabbed him, and only for a couple seconds, and it broke his ankle bone. And just knowing that, and I used to watch the way he would go through sticks and everything, I was like, man, I gotta have that. I gotta have it.
Oh man! But Bullet was not your personal first American Pit Bull Terrier. That was just the one that you grew up around.
Yes. At a certain point, my mother moved with my grandmother, and Bullet was there, and I had a younger uncle that introduced me to the breed, but he didn't know what it was. And I was walking him one day, and I'm 8 years old, and my grandmother trusted me enough to walk a vicious machine. I mean, like, no questions asked. You in the way, he gonna grab you. So there were some bushes, and I'm walking, and a big guy, I didn't see him in time, but I guess I knew I didn't want him to bite anybody, so I caught him quick, and I wrapped him up around my wrist, and I pulled him back. And at that time, it was a big guy, At that time, we would call this big guy, he's dressed like a player, you know what I'm saying? Smooth, well-groomed, and he had a Slim Jim knife. And he popped that knife, and I'm looking at him, and he's like, oh, man, young man, do you know what that is? And I was like, yep, part tiger, part lion, part dog. Because of the brindle, you know what I'm saying? I had to put it somewhere, and he started laughing. He said, no, son, that's a brindle bull. It's a pit bull. I was like, really? And from that point, I started researching. You get what I'm saying? Because now I can put a name with the breed, because my uncle didn't know. He told me part lion, part tiger, part dog. And I'm looking at the things that he could do, the way he could jump up a tree and grab stuff. And I'm like, that's not normal. So perhaps it's true. But again, the big guy brought enlightenment to me. And at that point, I was just researching more and more.
Nice.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
So before then, I was 8. And so before then, I had a cousin who was engaged and married the guy that was in the game. And so he had a pit bull named Mitzi. So this is before I grabbed mine and I graduated. And so he would tell me tales. In particular, his running group was Keith and Pookie Davis. And so they're legends in Detroit because Pookie Davis had defeated Carver, one of Carver's best. I think it was the original Black Shine. He did it with a dog called Killer. I believe that was his name. Yeah,
okay.
But it was a Kobe Leitner dog, a half-brother to Corlin's Big Mike. And so one day he invited me over, because I would listen to the tales and everything, and he saw my thirst for it. So he took me over one day, and he grabbed a towel, and her name was Missy, little low-cut brindle female. A lot of brindles back in the 70s and early 80s. And he grabbed the towel, she grabbed it, and she's jerking and yanking, and and he's like, yeah, all right, now come here, grab it. I'm looking at him like, I've never seen this part of it before. Grab it? What do you mean? Hold on to it. So I grabbed it, and she's pulling and yanking. So my fear is, if this dog let go and grab me, it's over. So I did it for a couple minutes, and I was like, here you go, man. You can take it back. I'm good. So that was another key. After experiencing that and seeing how long she could hang on and how much she enjoyed it, I was like, man, these dogs are intense. So that further added to me making up my mind, this is the breed that I want to breed. And like I said, when I graduated, and I brought one that year, a couple months after I graduated.
Well, so when you got the one that you got, your personal one, could you tell us about that dog and what he or she was like?
I sure can, because I wound up getting 1, 2, 3 more right behind it within the same year. So this particular one, I knew I wanted females because, I'm coming into this not really knowing anybody, but knowing that I want to perfect the breed and that I have a love for the breed, a liking, which developed into a love for the breed. So this particular litter.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Just through conversations with you, man, I could tell you were a very intelligent man. I bet you were just such an intelligent child to even think like that.
Okay.
just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying to think, hey, I want to improve on this breed. I want to breed these dogs at just a, that's cool, man. That's cool. And it's at a teenage level.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it wasn't about money. It was about me being able to make them better. You know what I'm saying? After knowing they were good. And then finding out that Petey on a Little Rascals was a pit bull, man, you couldn't tell me nothing. Because he proved to be a pretty smart dog. I mean, I know that certain scenes are set up to make it look like certain things, but I would say that the original Petey did have a good level of intellect, and that impressed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, after seeing that, and like I said, it impressed me. So this first female I got, she was the only female in the litter, and she was off of Quillen's Big Mike. Quillen's Big Mike is a Leitner Toby dog.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of nibbler in there. I'm just going off of memory. This is so long ago. But what I heard about him, he had 1.5, but it was off the chain, no contracts. Now, when I met Quillens himself, and he told me, he did him 5 times, he just said it like that. Because, I'm young, I wasn't in no damn police or shit like that. I'm just intrigued, and he knew that because I was a referral. So he said, we did it 5 times. And, me, I didn't know to ask any more questions. I'm looking at this red brindle, nice big head. If I remember correctly, his ears were clipped. Monstrosity. And I'm like, OMG. So they crossed him to a pure Niblet and Klaus female named Quillen Cinder Sifter. She was pure McCoy, pure Klaus. Man, do you know what that was? That was gold back then.
Yeah.
That was gold. You know what I'm saying? So Big Mike had proven to be a good producer, producing dogs like Yogi, Paps, Killer 1 and Killer 2, which I believe that Glenn Wilcox had something to do with back in the day. And he was just a solid dog. And for years, his grandson, Rojo Mike, continued it. And so I would take some of that blood any day of the week, man.
Man, there's guys who was looking for it lately. I seen on one of the dog pages. So, yeah.
Hey, that's because they know it's good. Yes, sir. They know it's good. Now, when you look at it, now watch this. Rocco's Cherry Bomb and Big Mike and Doucette had a white female back in the day off of Stumbo's Dixie. And that may be who Big Mike Mama is. All those dogs, man, Champion, Fireball, had some of that blood in them. So all those great, interesting red dogs back in the day were special, man. Like I had Stonewall Jack was off of Whitey McCoy, close up to some other stuff. And he was a phenomenal dog with a unusual chest. He had a barrel chest, which I later found out that could help with wind capacity. He didn't have a wide chest. He had a deep chest. and he carried that on to his particular offspring. Like there was one called Buck that was owned by a guy, and man, Buck was a special dog. I think I think the guy's name was Nick. Okay, Eastside guy. But anyway, yeah. So that's how my first female was put together, man.
Well,
False nibble on the bottom and Lightner with Corey stuff on top. You couldn't tell me nothing.
I like that, man. So you spoke of some of these guys that you met, but I was going to ask, like, who were some of the old school dog men that inspired you early on when you were getting into dogs?
Okay, I mentioned my cousin
Yes.
inspired me. I had purchased my dogs. I met a guy named, they called him Black Ron, but he has a kennel name, and it'll come to me. I met Black Ron early on. He was referred to me by uncle. We met, and we've been kind of cool ever since. Now, I want to say this. I came into the game wanting to breed. Then I am a breeder. I'm in my 19th generation of breeding over the years. And if you were to go over the pedigrees and you can see some of the accomplishments of our dogs, it would impress you. But now, getting to this. So, I brought in a play cousin of mine named Otto. I'm like, hey, man, you got to get into this, man. I'm breeding the pit bull and blah, blah, blah. He saw mine, and he's like, okay. So I'm looking around. I have the Bloodline Gazette by UKC. And, I'm studying, and I'm learning a little bit about Red Boy was popping up, in the South Carolina area. Ooh, this Red Boy dog. I'm thinking about breeding him. And a litter popped up in Detroit. And it was by a guy by the name of William Blanchard. And he dealt with the old family Red Nose. And in fact, his male Queasy is a repeat breeding, so a full brother to Killing Sid. And his main female, Coffee, back then was a pure Klaus and Henfield. Look at how this all together.
Oh, man.
A pure Klaus Henfield female and a tight Tartner's Heck and Rowdy and all those dogs, which is Klaus combined with, some old family on top.
Yeah, that old family,
and
yeah.
so I took my cousin to go look at it, to go grab a pup, because I said, you get the males, I get the females, and we're going to breed. But it wasn't a normal trip. When I got there, Blanchard had his pedigrees out on the table, and he had his book out by Stratton's first book. Queasy's in the first publication of This is American Pit Bull Terrier by Richard Stratton.
Nice.
And he showed us, okay, this is the father of the puppy. And I was like, the father? I'm looking in the book. And he said, yeah, he's here. You get a chance here? Let's see him. And he had the pads out. And what he wanted to do was, he did not want us to buy a pup and we didn't know what the hell we were buying. He wanted us to know why he bred what he bred.
Yes.
So he set us down and he was taking us through the pedigree like anywhere for about half an hour to an hour. Now, I could hear the puppies in the basement. And I'm just like, man, it took all I had to maintain my concentration. But I'm listening and taking mental notes because I didn't know to bring a pen and paper. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I just gave it my pet that was bred good. I knew that had papers, UKC papers back at the time, because everybody wasn't ATBA when I started. Yeah. A lot of people were UKC, you know what I'm saying? And UKC had legitimate game bred dogs that they were, people registered. So after that, we wound up getting a male named Jake, and he was named after Jake Wilder. I started calling him. William Blanchard a lot, because I'm like, man, that knowledge was just phenomenal. He took us back, man, way back to Thirsty Jeff, how Thirsty Jeff was incorporated into the old family Red knows what Bob Wallace was doing and everything. And I just started calling and learning. And I think because he saw my thirst for learning, he taught me how to breed a dog, because all breeding should have a purpose.
Right.
When you breed and you are a breeder, you become a master chess player. So then when you're breeding a dog, you should already be 3 to 5 breedings ahead of the one that you're making today.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you have to deviate left or right, you should know which way you're going to deviate. So, and in terms of learning that, there's something that I call pulling. And you can breed and you can try to pull particular characteristics from certain dogs of the pedigree, right?
Right.
Based upon what you have that shows the same similarities. And it may not be the most prevalent dog, meaning that, let's say you got 10 times Dibo up close, and you got 4 times Boomba. I'm just making up a dog. But Boomba is a dog that you want to concentrate on, so you would select the ones that carried his characteristics the most. That's what you call pulling.
Yeah.
So, but you got to know what it is. You got to know how it acts. You got to know how it looks. You got to know some of the characteristics and talents that it may have. And then those are the ones that you stick to, regardless of how good the other ones are, and you may like, because you're trying to pull this particular trait. Now, also in doing that, let me say this. For everyone who says they can't, or you can't, or no one can select a puppy, you're so wrong, and that's probably why so many people have failed in their quest. I have raised over 100 puppies, and I study puppies day and night when I raise them. I study everything about them, man. They're under a microscope, but Blanchard taught me how to select puppies, and therefore my percentages of success is extremely high. And the reason is I can pick a puppy. You can pick a puppy if you learn, one, what you like, what you want, and what you expect. They show it to you. You just got to know it. But a lot of guys get into the game and don't know what the hell they want. All everybody wants is a killer. Say, I just want it. And they're missing out on it because they don't know what they really like. And that's what, if a guy say, I want to breed, I want to get into the game, I would tell him, what is it that you want most in your pit bulls? And that direction you should go in terms of choosing a bloodline.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? Because you're going to have more success selecting things that fit your personality than to go with something that doesn't fit your personality. Let me give you one more example.
Yeah.
Everyone can't pull things out of a particular dog. Like, let's say you get a super stubborn dog and you don't know how to deal with it. So I had a champion named Fireball, and she was stubborn, man. But it was a constitution. She had a strong constitution. I couldn't touch her puppies. Now, she wouldn't try to bite me. I would touch them anyway. But she would growl at me for the first week. I'll just push her head out the way. Shut up. Girl, shut up. But my wife can go in there and she wag her tail. Pick which one you want to look at. I was like, oh, you traitor. But now I understood it because I was her work master. My wife was her love master.
Nurture.
So then I didn't get confused and say, I'm getting rid of you because you don't let me come next to your puppies. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then we have to be able to see certain things and bring the best out of them. Here goes again, another analogy. If you are not a talent scout, like Barry Gordy was from Motown, your success is going to be limited. But again, Berry Gordy knew what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he wanted to build Motown, and he knew he wanted the best talents. Well, then you have to be able to do the same thing, because all pit bulls to a degree are kind of, I would say, equal, and a lot of the success that takes place on a particular animal is due to how it is raised and who raised it, who grooms it, who's able to bring out the best of a particular dog, because everybody can't do it, man. Everybody can't bring the best out. Okay, let me give you one more example. There are a lot of good women out here, but men are not capable of bringing the best out of a good woman. You get what I'm saying? I'm being real serious here.
Yeah.
So a lot of good women get passed over, or they get ran over, because a lot of men don't appreciate having a good woman, and they don't know how to nurture that and bring the best out of that good woman that they have.
Wow, man.
Same with the dogs, man. For real.
I just want to tell my audience, because I've told them before to take notes, get themselves a notebook. And this is one of those moments right here. Everything he just said, I think you guys should rewind that, maybe go slow through it, and write this stuff down about being, 3 or 4 steps ahead, the chest, all that. That's stuff that you guys need to write down. Thank you for that, man. Thank you for that.
Okay. All right, no problem.
I was going to say to you, so, when you were talking about getting those lessons from him and making all those phone calls, would you have considered him a mentor in the game, or was he just somebody that you just, you were just bouncing ideas off with and listening to?
Hell no. He was my teacher. He was my mentor. Man,
yes.
Hell no. The man was a genius. And I'm going to share something with you. One of the things that he instilled upon me, which is very important. Now, as we're speaking, I know that you have a something that says, this is for entertainment purposes. I want to share and say also, this is the information I'm providing is for entertainment purposes only.
Yep.
It's not meant to promote anything that goes outside the law, but just for entertainment and fun purposes.
Historical, and and also, you don't know if this man's lying. He could be straight lying to us right now. So, you know what I mean?
True that. As I speak to you from my mentor, who took me by the hand on the road, which is a Who Man. And he's retired, and this is my last year. I'm retiring. I'll get into that a little more. I'm officially retired. This is the year. But Blanchard was my teacher, mentor. You know what I'm saying? He knew theory and application, so that's what the science is. So his theory was this: never abuse your dog and school them too much. You should be able to see what you want to see within 3 practice bouts. And if you see what you want to see and you're never going to do anything with it, don't do anything with it. Don't cater to people who want you to bring your shit out just to be doing it, to help ruin it, to see some shit. So that was a firm teaching. Like, let a dog be a dog. And once you see what you want to see and they've done what they need to do, let them live a beautiful life. So I'm all for having and seeing dogs reach a ripe age and living a life. I have 2 older dogs, and they live a luxury life, man. They eat steak, and I cook for them, a couple days a week, and they look good. There ain't no scars on them. They showed me what I wanted to see of them in terms of being a nice pit bull, but showing some courage, you know what I'm saying? And, when I took them to a hog in the field in the country, and they don't have to do anything for me. I'm pleased with it. So, again, that was a thing. And he also taught that each time you scrimmage with a dog, it takes a toll.
Yeah.
And his teaching said that the average dog only has 3 really good ones in them.
Okay.
Oh, I'm dropping some pearls right now, there.
Yeah.
So, and if you have 3 good ones, 3 good races that take a toll that they have to really work for, that should be it.
Man, I was just going to ask you. I was going to ask you what advice he gave you, but that's great. I love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, mind you, Blanchard didn't believe in matching dogs, but he did not mind seeing what they were.
Yeah.
He was just against matching. See, and that's what, a lot of people get confused at. Just because a person doesn't race their dogs don't mean that they don't have a good dog. Let me give you an example. There's a guy that has something I really liked. And I kind of got him into the game when he was younger. I helped him out. I met him young, and I was young. And we were cool until he went to the military and we lost contact with each other. But I put his first champion in his hand. And he had a really good dog that he hadn't did anything with. And I asked a few people, and one guy that I trust says, yeah, he's a good one. But no, he ain't did nothing with him. But my question was, well, how did you evaluate him for what you've seen? Well, he's a beast. Well, then, just because he never raced him doesn't mean he's not a beast. He's a beast that's never been raced.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
See that? So just because a person doesn't do it does not take away from the dog. So now that we're saying that, let me say this for the audience. I want to end some confusion. If a dog is a producer, he's going to produce. Irregardless to if he does anything or not, if he's a show dog, a weight pulling dog, or whatever he is. If this dog produces game dogs, it is a producer.
Mm-hmm.
And if a dog doesn't produce, it's not a producer. So with that being said, let me share this with the audience. I owned, when I say I, meaning that the Who Man, which is my mentor, and I was, following him, so everything he owned, I owned. A dog that was a cur named Tattoo. And Tattoo had won 2, and he lost his third in 2 hours and 15 minutes against another dog that we bred.
Mm-hmm.
So now, Tattoo was a litter-mate to a good dog, but he was in the hands of some guys that were just totally stupid in the game, and they had just got into the game, and they would roll him with a dog named Bo and another dog every week. I mean, like every week. And I knew that in time, that Tattoo was just going to get ruined and quit. So I told a couple people, man, y'all better go get that Tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's going to be a good one. And nobody did. And obviously, after doing it for months in, not taking care of them, rolling them, it's bad business, but they didn't know, and they're not in the game anymore. So, but Tattoo quit. Right. And he wound up in Nooney's hands. And the Who Man and I brought him. Now, for the record, he's a man-made cur. So what kind of curs do you have?
Yes.
You have a man-made cur that under normal circumstances may not have ever curved.
Yeah.
You have a cur that won't do anything, won't hunt, and then you have a cur that may hunt some or scrimmage and quit. Now, would I breed to Tattoo? Man, I would back 3 or 4 females up to Tattoo if he was alive, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now listen to me. His loss was in 2 hours and 15 minutes. So even being a ruined dog, a man-made cur, he would give you 98% of what he had. Meaning that you couldn't beat him and make him get out of there. I don't care what you do to him. He's going to go as long as his lungs can go up into a 98% capacity. He's going to give you all he could for 98%. You know what I'm saying? So now, and that's a cur. So you think I wouldn't? Man, I don't care what nobody say. That motherfucker I would breed to because he wouldn't have been a cur in the right hands. He would have been a champion.
Okay. Yeah. Man, dang. Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for saying that. I do want to, I do want to get off topic just for a second. And and ask you what's something people would be surprised to learn about you that they don't know, Dr. Sijo.
Okay. Well, let me say this. I love dogs.
Yes.
I love dogs.
Yes.
I mean, I love my dogs. You know what I'm saying? So I treat them the best. I love dogs. And a lot of people think because you may own a particular breed that you have no love for dogs. My shit look good. And if I go partner with somebody and I place something in their hand and I'm a partner with them, I check on it. That shit better look good. I like for dogs to be well taken care of. I love dogs. I have a great love for dogs.
Just dogs, period.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, listen, man. Oh, I got it.
You got some cane corsos.
I got some cane corsos, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love dogs. I love Rottweilers. And I'm going to get a Bull Terrier because I love them. Remember now, I'm retired. So let me share with you how my retirement worked. The Who Man retired years ago. And, you know, he left me to finish the breeding program. Mm-hmm. And this year, the breeding program will be complete. So let me mention my beautiful retirement. Pretty much like not too many can say. 19 generations we are. I've raised over 100 puppies. We've owned over 13 champions, owned, bred, or have sold. We have owned 3 dogs that have gone to the 3-hour mark, and none of them have quit. One DG, one won, and one was picked up 3 times. The 2-hour mark, 13 times, with only 2 quitting. We've featured 5 DG dogs in our lifetime. So my retirement is, I don't like a lot of the pit bull guys. I don't like the way things go. I don't like what goes on. So I'm gracefully stepping out. And I'm not being forced out. I'm going to other breeds. I love security, and I'm getting into security dogs. One that would just, you come in the house, it's just going to kill you. That's what I love. That's what I want. Now, my retirement says this. I'm going to maintain 1 to 2 pits, and I place my main stud dogs with people in various states that are not into the game, that have them as house dogs because they look good. I made sure they were domesticated, and we have an agreement, you know, if they want to stud them out, you know, get the money. You know, anybody want to sell them or something, we do get the money. And so my thing would be, I would make a breeding once every 2 years, once every 3 years. I will raise the pups from it up until they're 2 years before I let anybody get them. So I know that they are perfectly healthy. They've been loved on, and they're healthy. They have good work ethic. They're beautiful. They're what the breed should be, and I will be selective into who gets it. Now, nice. The benefit of that would be anyone that does get something from me, they are able to breed to any of the selected dogs that I have in 5 different states. I have top-notch studs that I selected of various bloodlines that a person can breed into that I would not open the door up to unless someone dealt with me directly.
I understand.
And yeah, so that's how my retirement is. I'm not into it, so and no one, no use in trying to follow me because I don't deal with nobody. You know what I'm saying? No use to try to tap my phone because I ain't talking to no damn body. So I'm retired.
Yeah.
But I will make a breeding after this year once every 2 to 3 years and raise them and place them with good, respectable, knowledgeable people that will take care of things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's what I like to see. Dogs that are well taken care of. And that's how my retirement plan works. However, let me add to that. I think because of my directness with people, my fairness with people, it kind of turns them off because they expect someone to bullshit them. However, like right now, I have a couple youngins placed of various bloodline, the Macho Bug bloodline, some good Eli 9-10-month-old pups. 1 or 2 here, 1 or 2 there, that I would put in the right people's hands. People are raising them and waiting on me. If they never do, it's cool to find good people. So if someone wants to deal with someone who's going to be direct with them, no games, the dogs are bred the way they're supposed to be bred, the sires are DNA profiled, No games, no tricks, no bullshit. I ain't got to worry about not looking at you in the eye whenever I see you, because I put exactly what I told you I had in your hands, and it's up to you. I have helped out a lot of people. And it's okay if they decide to be two-faced and turn turncoat later on. It doesn't bother me, but I have helped some people to get into a fast lane with my honest bulldogs, and I know what I'm doing. So that's how my plan works.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Sijo, who's your all-time favorite bulldog? One you either owned or just admired?
Well, here goes. Art is my number one dog. Grand champion Art.
Okay.
Eli Jr.'s son.
Yep.
Art, the dog with the heart. My first racer was off of him, and she being a one-timer and is a litter mate to Thrift champion Bumper. I got a chance to see Bumper, and I think Bumper beat champion Argo, Thrift champion Argo, and I would place Bumper. See, I have a rating scale, which is, people should. And I place Bumper in the top 10 of all the chess dogs I've ever seen.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And so now, the best. Memorable. Okay. Champion Fireball would be one of the best females I've ever seen. 4-time winner, 2 males to her victim. Her first and second win were just 2 weeks apart. She won Best in Show over champions and winners with top-notch people in the Midwest. Rocco was there. He had a Honcho dog that was on the card. A son of Bolio was there, Bruiser, and a son of Dutch Boy Jr., the daughter of Dutch Boy Jr. was there. Champion Strike was there. A son of Komazinski's Mutt, Champion Arrow, and Bum were all on the card. So it was a beautiful card.
Wow.
5-dog card, and Fireball won Best in Show. What I liked about her is her ability to adjust. She played the head very well, better than most I've ever seen. And she would punish you from the head and force your head into the ground. If she couldn't force your head into the ground, she would allow you to come at her. Let's say she had 2 dogs are facing each other and she had the left ear. She will allow you to come into her, and she's going to wind up positioning her body on the right side of you, meaning that she's stretching your ear over your head toward her. So she's going to walk you side to side, meaning she's out of the way of any threats, right? And when she decided to, she's going to flip you over her back like judo and slam you kind of hard, So that's why I used to say she knew MMA, because she did it continuously, throughout her life. She'll walk you, next thing you know, everybody sees something, boom, and everybody, ooh, and I'm looking like, wait a minute, you're doing this shit on purpose. You know what you're doing. Now, before I go any further, let me say this. A lot of people can't analyze what their dog doing. They know that it's winning. They know it's doing this. They know it may be on the bottom and trying to get up. You got to understand these dogs. So now let me switch over. This dog, Fireball, would often switch into the legs. And she would switch into the legs knowing and feeling your cadence. Like you're pushing and she's shaking you and pushing your head downward. And when you take a breather, she'll release real fast and go to your leg and pick you up from your leg. Never has she ever been punished for going to a leg. No one's ever punished her because she didn't put her face down there. When she grabbed it, she's pulling the leg up, turning you over, flipping your ass on your back, and she's going to start handling you. Okay, let me go one more time. So in turn of playing you on your head, she knew she loved the back end. You may think she's a head dog. Somebody may think she's a leg dog, but she was really a back end dog. And so what she would do is she would master your cadence again. And when she was ready to go to the back end, she never went around the dog, meaning to the side of the dog. She would go directly between a dog's legs, meaning under the chest, right directly under the chest. And as soon as she get halfway, she would lift up and pick the whole back end up, the stomach area and all, and then shoot and grab that back end. And never has anyone ever stopped her from doing that move. So a very adjustable dog. As she matured, around the age of 3, she learned how to complete things better. But her goal was just to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to beat your ass forever. So that would be one of my all-time favorites because I understood her and I knew exactly what she was doing and I knew why she was doing it.
That sounds like the definition of a finisher right there. I just want to make sure, I do it periodically, make sure that my audience understands that this is all historical, educational, entertainment. And again, I want to let you guys know, we don't know if this man is making up a whole story right here, but this was great. This is great information right here, man.
Right. And one more thing I want to say about Fireball.
Yeah.
Ozzie Stevens, Dave Adams, Frank Bunch, a lot of people from Ohio, Joe Amato from New York, and other people, Big Brad, I'm just naming a few people. All these people, and particularly Ozzie Stevens, considered her the hardest shaking dog they had ever seen in their life. Ozzie Stevens had a liking for me so much because of how I handled things, or me, and I'm speaking for the Who Man, I'm speaking through the Who Man because he doesn't do interviews, that he personally offered us to buy Grand Champion Virgil before he had won anything because he liked us so much.
Wow.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and whenever we spoke, he would say, "How is that red bitch?" Ooh-wee. And because actually we called him out with Champion Tammy, and Ozzie said no. Now it could be out of respect that he wanted to have a little grooming to do with us. I'm not saying he was scared. I just said he said no, and there were quite a few other people that said no.
Yeah.
But again, the hardest shaker to ever live, that would shake a dog off their feet, pop their necks in midair. She would bang heads against the floor on purpose. She would take a dog into a corner and bang their head into the wall on purpose.
Knowing.
So, yeah.
Just a smart dog. Smart dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I heard something about you, Dr. Sijo, but it might be untrue. I just figured I thought I'd ask. But the word was that you had the first certified champion out of Michigan to ever grace the cover of a sporting dog journal. I don't know if that's true, but I might.
Well, okay. It's partially true. She didn't grace the cover, but she graced a write-up. And she wasn't the first male champion. She was the first female champion that I know of to be all of her hunts registered in the Sporting Dog Journal. That was Champion Fireball. And she's the first dog that I ever seen that was a warning to people. Ozzie Stevens wanted to let people know. And his words were, "And the red bitch will be a hard dog to beat." Have you ever heard of anyone saying anything like that about a dog in the journal?
Nope.
Exactly. So Ozzie Stevens said those words because he wanted people to know, you go messing with that little young black boy and that red dog and your ass in trouble. But now, history. Fireball being the first female that I know of that was a legit champion out of Michigan. One of the first during the time period, if not the first. Represented also the first champion of champion breeding. She was bred to a dog called Tag, which is a kingfish male. Tag nickname was Ghost. So he had won one and was sold to Randall Hines. Randall Hines took him with two more, and he made champion. So Fireball, best in show female, 4-timer, 2 males victims, was bred to a dog named Tag, Champion Tag, symbolized the first Michigan champion male to Michigan champion female, even though he wasn't a champion when the breeding was made. He was a one-time winner, but still it wound up being one of the first, if not the first, Michigan champion male to Michigan champion female. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, if we're talking history, I have some shit I want to say.
Okay. Remember, it's historical, educational, and entertainment purposes only.
Exactly. So, we had purchased a alley dog named True Blood. That's what we named her. I can't remember what her name was. And we had heard about this female that was doing so good. And I'd asked a couple people, not that I was interested, just, I was interested, but I didn't want nobody to know I was interested. So, yeah, man, she's a killer. I'm no, okay. I asked somebody else, that's not connected to this person. Oh, yeah, she's a killer. Some young boys got her.
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
When you said it was an alley dog, I'm guessing it's somebody who just had a dog, but did it have papers or was it not a paper dog?
Exactly. Meaning that didn't know where it came from. They had it, and I don't think they raised it. I think they purchased it, and they, I don't think they stole it because she was doing too much. And if she was stolen, the word would have traveled too fast, and somebody would know that it was their dog. And actually, that's something that I always did, make sure, and people have to sign a piece of paper stating that, this dog is not stolen if it didn't have papers.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in favor of buying stolen goods.
Yeah.
So, after hearing it a couple of times, we decided to buy it. So we found out where it was, and we went by, and the young boys, they said a high price because they know they would just destroy the pit dudes with this dog that they didn't know nothing about.
Yeah.
We purchased her. We did it once cheap, and it was a KO. It was a fatality. Then we knew, yep, she's everything that they say. Race 2, fatality. Oh, shook it up. So my nemesis in the game is a notorious Tony Rogers. And let me say this about Tony Rogers. A lot of people consider him a good dog man. I consider him a dog man that was a good and great gambler. More than a dog man, he was a gambler first. And that's what people misconstrue about him. Otherwise, if he wasn't a gambler, why would you call ass bets and don't have any money in your pocket? The only person that would do that is a gambler. And he felt like he could look at something sometimes and need money and not have money, call a bet and win. And he's probably did it several times, but he got caught a couple times making that. So the only person that would do that is a gambler.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Rogers was a gambler. So we hooked up a 2-card show, 2 females at, I think, 37 pounds. So show night come. He has 2 females. I want to make this clear. 2 conditioned females. We have 2 conditioned females. True Blood is a 2-timer. He had a 1-timer and a 1st-timer. We had a 2-timer and a 1st-timer. First Blood KO'd the 1-timer in, I think, 21 minutes, 21 minutes. Now, because I wanted revenge on Tony Rogers for cheating me back in the day, and which I'll elaborate on with proof. I wanted to do something great, like Andre Guru had done. 2 dogs back to back with Rocky. So as opposed to bringing our other secret weapon out, we stayed in the box and told them, go get your other female. And everybody's like, what? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, we're about to do this with the second one. And so with the second one, it took a little longer, but we KO'd her also. So I got 2 wins that night on Tony Rogers. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I say. How you compare who a person is or what they've done, you look at who they played with and who they raced with. And if someone can race with somebody and even win with somebody, they are at least comparable to that person. So, again, Nemesis. I like Tony Rogers. I think he was good for the game in a lot of ways. I called him the maestro because he can make something happen. If I wanted to go into you and you didn't want to go into me, he would go to you and say, hey, man, you just do it. I'll bet with you. And then he would bet against you.
Mr. True Colors.
True Colors. That's what he would do. So, and we've had great conversations about life.
Nice.
And
nice.
he was open. And one thing I would say about him is that he always told me that I was ahead of my time. Now, let me get back to why he became my nemesis. And one of the funniest racists I've ever seen. Sarge is a first-timer coming out against Black Bart. Tony Rogers got Black Bart to come at us because he had heard that Sarge is one of the better dogs that we had bred. One of the best up until that date. Okay, everything goes on, and people think that Sarge couldn't do anything. And around 40 minutes, they saw, when the dog Black Bart was on his back, they saw a chest that was hanging like nothing before. Somewhere in between time, Tony Rogers injected Black Bart with a pain shot. And the temperature was like 120 degrees. It was extremely hot, man, and the Who man, my mentor, had on overalls and wanted to, hey, man, look, man, can somebody just put some ice in my mouth, man? I'm sweating, and I need my overalls on because it's protecting my clothes and X, Y, Z. Tony Rogers being wise. Nah, you can't do that. No. So somewhere around an hour and 30, hour and 40, Sarge falls asleep. When I say sleep, asleep. Black Bart was on his back, Sarge his stomach and chest with a leg in his mouth, asleep, snoring at one time because it was so much for him. The heat was so great, and it was so much to push that long. And later on, I think Suburbanite was the ref of that one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Suburbanite. That's all I'll say. I won't say his name. And Sarge started snoring. So anyway, long story short, 2 hours and 37 minutes later, Sarge makes a courtesy scratch. It's picked up. He goes home and is cared for, and he lives a good life. He goes on to win 2 and live a good life. Black Bart goes on to Bulldog Heaven. So that would be 3 times that we sent True Colors to Bulldog Heaven out of the 3 times that we met. But again, I liked True Colors. He was good for the game, but sometimes not the best for a game. He was a good gambler, and he could make things happen. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but
yes, sir.
He wouldn't be, in the top Bulldog man, but he deserves it. But because, okay, let me go back one more thing. Here goes. I'm bringing out a lot so people can understand this is not coming from a hater position.
Yeah.
The big raid happened 2000, I don't know, 2000 something, 5, somewhere around there. When McNasty had betrayed Michigan people. He and Tony Rogers were cool, and he knew that Tony Rogers had did some short time bits for being in the game and getting caught up. And he told Tony Rogers what was going on. Now, here's a decision. If I see 60 people I know and I'm cool with, and this one person is saving me from going to jail, but I see 60, 70 people I know that's about to go to jail, I have to betray that one person. You know, I appreciate you doing what you do, but I'm a holler when I step my head in like he did. He stuck his head in and he looked around and he left. Meaning that I ain't faulting him, but I would have just said, get the fuck out of here. and just been done. And because of that, you know, that to me, that is a form of betrayal to your people. I get it. He saved you because he didn't want you to go to jail, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't see if I'm in the game and there's 60, 70 people who are about to get jammed up. I just couldn't do it.
I hear you.
So I've explained myself. So again, it ain't player hating because I really like True Color. The shit he talked and the shit he talked and the shit he talked tickled the shit out of me most of the time.
Well, I got another question.
Okay.
You know, you've written a couple books, man. And you dropped some heavy gems. And so there's a debate out there, but I think you said something in your book, and I don't know if it's something you don't want to talk about, but I just want to go ahead and ask it, man. Who do you think is the best producer in APBT history, man?
It ain't Jeep. It's not Jeep. It's not Frisco.
It's not Chinaman?
Hell no.
Okay. Because he really wasn't the producer.
That's a lot of better producers, but this is what we must learn to do. We must learn to be accurate. And in turn to be accurate, we're taught in life that numbers don't lie. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so then we must take the number of living puppies that we know of, you know, like a dog. Let's say a dog, Jeep has a Frisco, 1,200, 1,300 puppies. Okay, Jeep, maybe 1,100 puppies. I'm just going off the top of my head. It's been so long since I looked. Well, then, take the percentage of puppies into the champions they've produced, and you're going to get the percentage of producers. Right. So there are a lot of other dogs with lower percentages of puppies, 100 and something that produce 5 or 6 champions. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
80 something breedings with 3 champions. Those are higher percentages. So it's about the percentages also, not about how many champions a dog have, because if you have 900, 1,200, 1,300, almost 1,400 puppies and you got 10 champions, 14 champions, you know what I'm saying? So look at 1,000. So 10 champions, 15 champions out of 1,000? That's a very low percentage.
Well, I guess people are just going to have to get the book, huh?
Yes, sir. But definitely Frisco is nowhere in the top 6, 7, 8. I can tell you that much.
Wow.
Jeep is up in there. He's up there. Yeah, I meant to say Frisco in particularly, but because he has so many. But no, Frisco, he's maybe 7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Sijo, when you're not conditioning or breeding dogs, man, what do you get into, man?
Man, I'm an advocate researcher, and having grown up in the church, I was challenged one day by a young lady named Frances Elsie. She was an airline stewardess, and I had written a play, and she was in one of the cast members of the play that I wrote, and we got to know each other well. And she challenged me one day, like, hey, Brother Sijo, you a very powerful man, XYZ, XYZ. You know what I'm saying? You got knowledge, but that ain't nothing. That's nothing. Once you put the power of the Lord in your hand and you become knowledgeable the way you learn, boy, you're going to be bad. I'm like, what? You're going to be real bad. I'm like, okay. So that started I accepted the challenge. That started my research for about 3 years or more. I would study the Bible 3 hours a day for over 3 years. And then 3 to 5 years. And then afterwards, I'll cut down to 2 hours and an hour just to do that. So then in doing, I started trying to find out what things meant in Hebrew, what things meant in Arabic, what things meant in Greek. And so over the years, my interpretation, I hear people kicking this now. I've been kicking this like 20 years. Like, I got a videotape called Adam's Not the First Man. It's profound. Listen, I have a videotape called The Birth and the Rise of the Antichrist. 666, God's writing on the wall. Man, there's nothing, no one has ever published like this. It's so profoundly deep that no one's ever responded to me that I've ever sent it to. No devout person, no gospel person, no one's ever said anything, because when they look at everything I said, the facts, the dates, the places, and the people, they become like, Lee, how did he, I love truth, and I love spiritual truth, and I love spiritual wisdom, and I love learning about life. So a lot of my time goes into studying and deciphering scripture, and like I said, in particular in the old Hebrew and the Paleo, and breaking things down and bringing it up to date, which changed my perception of scripture to a very interesting degree. So let me give you an example. I think that would be best. Now people are talking about Cain and the land of Nod. Okay, so let me make a few things clear. A lot of people kick it, but very few are able to break it down. And I would think the master teacher, Malachi Z. York, being one of the first. In the land of Nod, where Cain was sent after he killed Abel, there were people there. Yeah. And one in particular was his wife. Lilith? It says, when he arrived there, he saw and he knew his wife. Wait a minute, let me go back again. When Cain had killed Abel, and before God put the mark on his head, which is the mark of the swastika, or the old Chinese mark of death, that has a number value of 444 or XXX in it, he said to God, oh God, should I go to the land of Nod? The people there, once they find out what I have done, Lord, they're going to smite me. They're going to kill me. God comeback was, okay, cool. So then what I'm going to do, King, I'm going to put a mark on you. Should anyone that finds you and harms you, their wrath, meaning the whipping I put on their ass, is going to be sevenfold. And so it says the king went out into the land, and he lived there, and he met a wife, and they had children, and I think the first was Enos. So now, let me go back. This woman could not have lived in a town by herself. Women did not toil the ground, and they did not subdue and hunt the animals. So she had to have been cohabitating with people. So now, once we break down the land of Nod, in the original language, it is the land of Nude. It was one of the first nudist colonies. And it was named after a person which is Nudamood. Nudamood is really Ingi of the Anunnaki. I know nobody want to hear that, but it is what it is. And so the land of Nod is the land of Nub. The land of Nub was named after Ingi, Nudamood. I'll stop right there. I just want to give an example.
Look, I've read the Book of Nod, so I've kind of grasped on it. I've never really got too, after I kind of got more into the Bible. I knew that there was people before Adam and Eve. I mean, and that's if anybody is a true, even just a true Christian, a real Christian or a real Hebrew, then they would know that that's truth. That's truth.
Exactly.
So I won't, but I never really got too deep into who those, some people said Neanderthals, this, that, that there was creation before, but, that's something that's known. Obviously, Adam was told to guard. He was told to guard the Garden of Eden. And, yeah.
Okay, stop right there for a second. That's good. Watch this. And he was also told to replenish. Listen to the word, replenish. Replenish means to redo. That means that there was a redoing of the earth that took place. And so if we really break it down, there are a couple different Adams of scripture that we're not aware of. But the Adam was told to replenish, meaning repopulate, meaning do over again. I just wanted to add that there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that for our personal conversation.
Right. I got you, and I'll send you the tape, man. I did a tape, which I break it down. Adam was not the first man, but I'll send it to you. So
I was gonna say, now that we're gonna keep going with the dog talk. Okay. I was scrolling through your Facebook page, which they can also learn about some of the other information you were just talking about if they really want to get in depth. And I saw that, man, you make some natural holistic supplements for dogs. And could you tell us a little bit about those and what they help with?
Okay. It started with my research with humans and knowing that, animal bodies function to a great degree like human bodies. This is why lab rats and monkeys are utilized for testing of things. And the genotypes are so similar because, man has a 90-something%, I think it's like 98% genotype similar to the monkey, and then you have the ape, then you have the baboon, and all of them are up there in the 90s. Even the dog, which may be down in the low 90s and upper 80s, and the pig, and all these different things, these animals, man, the genotypes are so similar that we have to understand nutrition is nutrition, and no nutrition is no nutrition, and a lot of things can happen because of no nutrition. So basically, the lacking of proper nutrition is what causes strokes in people. The lack of copper and some other elements are the key cause of a stroke. That they will not tell us about or teach us about. So yes, getting back to that. So I have more human products, like I've helped and I've cured. No, I can't use the word cure. I take that back. Right. I've completed and made healthy again 8 people now in the Wisconsin area of herpes.
Let's go ahead and use a disclaimer type thing for that too. This is all for historical, educational, entertainment purposes, and he's given. He would give you advice. It's up to you to take
Exactly.
advice. Maybe you might even want to go reach out to your doctor and ask, is that a good advice? But that's what he's basically getting at right there.
Exactly.
And your doctor's probably going to lie to you. I just wanted to say that personally.
Right. So, yeah, and once I even cured, no, I can't say cured, I even healed my own cancer. So,
Wow.
I know that natural things work, and I believe in it, and that would mainly go toward my teacher, my mentor, my spiritual father, Baba Abbott George Calhoun. And from him, I got a chance to study up under Baba, we're calling Baba Sebi, Dr. Sebi, for a while.
Yeah.
Before first time that his company had closed down. So, getting back to the animal products, loving health, loving to be healthy, training, doing boxing back in the day, kickboxing, martial arts. I wanted my dog to be healthy. And that is something I think that the Who Man utilized from me. Because he's the one that suggested it. Man, what do you think would happen if we try to give them the dogs herbs? I think it'll work.
Yeah.
So put something together, man. So he had me put something together, and it worked for him. And I think that's the reason why his record is the way it is. 13 times to the 2-hour mark, 13 times to the 2-hour mark, 3 times to the 3-hour mark, and 5 DGs because they were feeling good and functioning the way that they should respond. So I have a vitamin that's called the Formula. The Formula is just a very well-rounded, complete vitamin with herbs to get your dog to feel good on the inside. And I recommend it for puppies, pregnant moms, stud dogs. It helps to keep the sperm count up. It helps to fight viruses because of, I have things in it like sea moss and ginseng. And ginseng is more than what people think. Ginseng builds up the immune system as well. Back in the day, people used it as a energy tonic and a tonic to preserve life, to keep you alive. But it also builds up the immune system. Nice. To help fight viruses. So I've incorporated, various herbs into this particular product, and it's just a good, solid vitamin to have my dog's teeth and other people that use it. I don't really push it really like I'm going to. I always wanted to, and which brings me to something I'm going to do, since I can commit to it right now, and it'll make me follow through. I wanted to raffle off a puppy and set it to whereas the price for the raffle would cover a free bag of vitamins, so that even if you didn't win the puppy, you're going to get a bag of vitamins, so nice. That people can experience it for themselves, what it can do. Yeah. Now, again, when you combine that's what I call the maintenance, feel good, keep them healthy, keep them alert, and you don't need another vitamin. And you put this in the food, you don't need another vitamin. Cool, you got one vitamin. Now, if I was going to do a weight pulling competition or a jumping competition, I would add my liquid to it called Deep Waters. And I think that explains it. Where your dog can keep jumping up the wall or keep pulling weights. You can keep pulling weights for hours and hours, because time is what Deep Waters is based upon in the old lingo, So Deep Waters with the Formula is a 1-2 punch that's like Mike Tyson in his prime. A super hook, which is the Formula, and a hell of a right cross, which is Deep Waters. But Deep Waters, a lung expander, builds up the blood, gets them mentally prepared, and they just pull weights for hours at end. And it's proven by what the Who Man has done with his other protege. So it's like, let me say this, the Who Man was like a middle person. And he had a group on his side, on the right hand, he had me on his left hand. So on the right side, he had Fatality, and which I'm very cool with. And when they retired, I got 2 of their last dogs.
Nice.
And, so I'm on the left. So I represent Champion of Truth because I know the dogs, I know the truth. And it kind of works like that. So yes, I have a good muscle rub that when a person is preparing to work their dog for weight pulling and jumping competition, it's good to exercise the muscles. I have one that's really nice. It's called Ohm Rub. So, and then I have some all natural organic flea spray and a flea shampoo that will kill fleas upon contact, and it won't mess the coat. I've seen some flea medications that just mess a dog's coat up really bad and cause them to break out, but mine will maintain it, keep it smelling good, keep it looking good, and it will definitely kill fleas upon contact.
Oh man, you see, audience, this is what a real dog man is about. Everybody thinks that being a dog man is just, I got the baddest dog. No, it's about the maintenance. It's about taking care of your dog. These things that you're hearing from him, I hope that you guys write these things down. You know what? Personally, I tell anybody who, comes to me about dog, I'm like, yo, do you like, I say this to them first, Dr. Sijo. I said to them, do you like picking up shit? And they're like, what? They look at me weird, and I'm like, you're going to have to start enjoying picking up shit. So get used to picking up shit first. Get that in your mind that you need to pick up shit. Before you think about how great this dog is, how cute it is, or whatever, think about picking up shit. And then, but just, what you're saying, all this, knowing how to, take care of your dog, man, that's just important stuff, man, that I hope that our listeners are out there listening.
You know what? That is great advice. And if I can add to it, I have something that I tell people. And if someone's come to me and they say they want to get into the dogs, I would tell them to make a monthly budget. Because if you get into the dogs because of the fame and the fortune that it can bring, and you have no idea of what you need to spend and what you're going to spend monthly, you're lost. So, make up a budget. If you can only, let's say you got a farm, you got land, and your budget says $200 a month. Well, you know that you should only have 3 to 4 dogs. Because that food, that will cover your monthly bill. So let your budget dictate what you do. And if you really can't afford to spend every month, do not get into the dogs.
No, do not.
Yes, sir. You're not willing to spend that money like you would do on a pair of Nike gym shoes and do whatever. If something go wrong, you go to the vet until you become really qualified. You don't want to feed the best food to keep the healthy, keep the stew solid, not stinky and all that and diarrhea looking. You're not willing to give them the best. Just don't get into the dogs, man.
Yes.
It's not good.
Yes. Well, here's the part of the show that I call quick fire questions. It's where I ask you this or that. You could choose both, but it's just to get what your preferences on certain things.
Okay.
All right. Slap meal or carpet meal?
Carpet meal.
All right. Harness or collar?
Harness.
Mouth or straight up game?
Oh, man, I don't give a shit about mouth.
All right. How about kibble or raw?
Both.
Okay. Chain setup or kennel run?
See, it depends on the situation. Both can work if they're properly cared for, they're getting proper nutrition. I've seen it work in both locations and neither were lacking. So either or, it would depend upon the person's maintenance and ability to maintain good health.
Okay. I'll go with both on that.
Okay.
Tug of war or fetch?
Okay. Tug of war for most purposes, because you can actually do two at one time, and so you're working two. But fetch is a good one too, because they're running with speed. You know, they're running to speed to grab, and they're running to speed to come back. So I would say both, but my preference would be tugging, because you can kill two birds with one stone.
Okay. Road work or hiking?
Road work, number one. Road work.
Why did you just say road work, number one?
Listen, man. Here goes. You ready?
Yeah.
My little KP, younger little brother, Kev, who is retired. You know, he was a part of Fatality. Road work, no meal. And man, I'm talking about, boy, lungs forever.
Yeah.
For days, for weeks. You hear me? Listen, man, there are people who found out how far he walked and they didn't believe it. And a lot of people they were getting ready and they would ask him his route and he would give it to them. Man, they turned around. He's walking. They turned around like, it's like, what, you serious? What? You doing what? You doing 20 what? 30 what? Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, man, I have to go with what I've seen. And that road work is, man, it's awesome, man.
Okay. So Dr. Sijo, when it's all said and done, man, what kind of legacy, and you're retired, but you're not done.
Exactly.
When it's all said and done, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind on the APBT world?
Okay. I'm glad you asked that, because my goal is next year or the end of the year to start competing in confirmation shows. That is what I want. My goal is to have at least 3 confirmation champions. So I want to travel and do some things. And when you got dogs and you have to take care of, and once you know the facts, you can make a better decision. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in adding to that, since females are important to me and they are carriers, if your bloodline, and you look at it, especially if you go back 6 generations, some people say you only need 4 generations. I disagree with that. I think all 6 generations mean something, and even the 7th. But okay, that's just me. But if you look at it, and you don't have at least 4 outstanding females, your percentage is going to be low. Why our percentage is high is that we incorporated outstanding females. The best that we can find, the best that we saw is incorporated into our breeding program, which increases our percentage. So what do I breed for? I breed for percentages.
Right.
I want to say this. I know some guys who are into the game or was into the game, and they pass up a lot of good dogs waiting on one that had the hammer. You know, they wanted that hammer mouth. And so they pass a lot of good dogs. Whereas the Who Man and Fatality, as I traveled with them, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Push a button. But a lot of guys are. So then, here's some help for people. Gameness should be number one. It should be, and if you have two things that are above average, outside of gameness, because that's a given, you have a possibility into fatality. So they would take an average dog across the board and beat a lot of people. And one of the reasons is, and say, because if they brought a hammer and the hammer couldn't get his way the whole time, then the hammer becomes frustrated. And the frustration is because they haven't ran across a good defensive all-around individual, and which was a lesson for me. Like, oh, okay, I get it. So then, yes, it doesn't take the greatness that people think. I'd rather have a yard, if I was active, full of good average dogs than some super ones that lack so many other things.
All right. Well, Dr. Sijo, we're getting close to the very end, man. And I just want to ask you, what's one big myth or lie about these dogs that you wish people would stop repeating?
That they're killers, man killers, baby killers. Most of the pit bulls that turn on people, that bite people, are more of a hybrid bred pit, meaning that they don't come from game stock, meaning that they don't come from fighting stock, meaning they don't come from hog hunting stock. Because when you incorporate stab blood to a pit, they actually become a little meaner, by the way. But anyway, so they combine these big, beautiful, big, thick, gorgeous pit bulls with attitudes. Well, those are not the hunting dogs. They're not the racing dogs. They're hunting dogs will love on you. They're easy to steal. Ask anybody who used to be into it. They are easy to steal, but it's those hybrid crosses that are man eaters, which are great guard dogs. I don't mind having one. You know what I'm saying? But I wish they would stop thinking and being afraid of the pit bull. My vet compliments me so much, man. He's like, you know what, man? If everybody pit bull could be like yours, man, see, people could see. Because I'm coming in the office and your dog is barking at mine. Mine ain't thinking about yours.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep. So,
yeah. I wish that would end.
So, Dr. Sijo Baldwin, any real advice for folks that are getting into the dogs, especially the younger crowd, learning the right way? Is there anything that you could give them real quick?
Hell yeah. Okay. The one is be deserving and seek truth and knowledge and look for a teacher. Look for a teacher, a tutor, a mentor, a teacher, because it is better to learn the best way and make less mistakes, because you're more prone to be successful having to follow someone who knows better footsteps as opposed to getting out there and learning on your own, because that's what the street teaches you. The street teaches you to learn everything on your own, and you got to bump your head a lot of times in order to get to where you want to be in the streets. So if you're going to get into the dogs, find yourself a teacher, a mentor, a tutor, someone that can teach you right from wrong, and then the way you start off most of the time is the way you're going to end up. And if you start off being victorious, meaning, having healthy dogs and good success and not losing them due to diseases and stupid stuff and kennel incidents, you're going to be better at this. You're going to do better. You're going to go further because less wear and tear on your mind and your heart. You get what I'm saying? So find yourself someone. Be worthy. Be true. Be honest. Don't lie. Don't cheat, don't steal, and don't buy stolen shit. Yeah. And the last thing is, don't overdo your dogs, man. If you see what you like or you see what you don't like, let it be it. Okay, this one don't have it. You ain't got to keep trying to do something to make it do what you know it ain't going to do. It ain't what you want. Give it to somebody. There's some people that take a dog and love them. Yeah. And that would be my advice.
Dr. Sijo Baldwin, y'all. This was a great interview, man. And we have a thing on this show that we call give give a dog a bone. It's where we give a man his flowers, a dog man his flowers for everything that he's done, man. I just want to give you your respects on everything that you've done, man. And this was a great interview, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. And definitely before September, Truth of the Untold Story of the American Pit Bull Terrier Part 2 will be out. I just got a new computer, and I've been having some issues, and I just didn't want to get rid of my old one, and I hate buying new computers because I don't know what to buy, but I found someone to help me, and I purchased information, and now I'm working real diligently on completing Part 2 of the Untold Story of the American Pit Bull Terrier. Oh, one more thing. If someone wants to reach me, just messenger me. I'll get back with you. And then if you seem to be cool, I'll give you a direct number and we can correspond.
All right. Well, there you guys hear it on Beer N Bulldogs. Well, Doctor, I don't really have an outro for this show. I just tell them from Beer N Bulldogs till next time.
Hey, man, good show. And, brother, you keep up the good work, man. I just want to say to you that, there needs to be an outlet where people can talk and share their wisdom. Let me say this, when there is a sport, a game, or a field that requires participation of people, and they want to turn their back on the history of the people that made it what it is, you have a failing sport, art, whatever you want to call it, is going to fail. No sport other than the dogs have people with that messed up mindset. Boxing, I still remember Muhammad Ali. I looked at one of his fights last night. Matter of fact, I looked at Layla Ali's fight when she fought Frazier Daughter last night because she's talking about fighting Clarissa. Football, in order to understand football good, you look at some of the greats. And basketball, you look at some of the greats. Baseball, you look at the greats and you compare them to today. And you follow some of the good ones, and it helps you to understand what good is. But this is the one game that people do not like to give credit to another man for the things that he's accomplished. So I was glad to mention my mentor, my tutor, my teacher who taught me about vegan diets, which is William Blanchard. And I'm proud to be a person breathing the way I'm breathing because of the things that he taught me.
Yes.
And so we must respect the past.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you again, man. This was good.
Hey. All right, man. No problem. Hey, I'm glad to have me. Bring me back someday. I got some more shit I want to talk about.
We will. Hey, you have a good day, man.
All right, you too, man.
Okay, bye.
All right, take care.